Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Pastor Matthew here. Hey, I want to share just a quick thought from Proverbs chapter 24 today. Hopefully it'll help you have a little bit of faith for today. It says this: do not gloat when your enemy falls. When they stumble, do not let your heart rejoice. Or the Lord will see and disapprove and turn his wrath away from them. Do not gloat when you see your enemies fall. When they stumble, don't let your heart rejoice. This was kind of a hard, kind of hitting thought for me today. I hate to lose, right? I am not a gracious loser very often. I am pretty competitive. Now the Lord's helping to purify my heart a little bit and help me do it more graciously and be kind to other people. But I just don't like to lose. But I was thinking about this idea of gloating or even rejoicing at somebody else's failure. How so much of not only politics, but just our own perspective, man. When somebody else fails, when they fall, it's like this, it seems like it's commonplace that people are quick to jump up and see and share why they think it happened and how right it is and how their perspective is different. And even when, religious people, when people, pastors, when they mess up and they fail, whether morally or something happens to their church and it falls apart, it's not that it would be wrong to draw to conclusions of principles and learn something. I'm not saying that, but it just seems like the spirit behind a lot of these things is interesting. I was even thinking about this, like, we have a word that we celebrate, epic fail, right? We've turned gloating of our failures into something, praiseworthy almost. We have a whole video series of things that people put out all about watching other people fail, right? And I know most of those are good-hearted, and I'm not saying they're wrong. I laugh at them also. I find a good fail video to be good for the heart to laugh at every once in a while. But I just think that sometimes we become numb to other people's pain in this way. And that sometimes we are really quick to add our own self-righteousness when others fall. We're quick to add that judgment. And I think we need to hold off. I think we need to be really cautious that and be aware that if our first reaction in our heart is, man, I knew that would happen, or man, I told you so, I think we need to check our hearts. I think we need to pause and say, Lord, help me to be compassionate towards them, to walk with pain in them. Let my heart ache and break because they fell, because they failed, right? I think that it's too easy to get caught up in being right that we forget to pursue righteousness. And so I hope that today we would all just kind of pause and check our hearts. When people are messing up, when leaders are maybe falling on their face, when maybe somebody from another political party is not getting what or is getting what we feel like they deserve or whatever. And I don't care what side of the aisle you're on in that at all. I'm just saying that as believers, we need to check our hearts. We need to not be quick to rush to try and be right in our opinion, but rather we need to make sure we're pursuing righteousness. Because when somebody else messes up, when somebody else fails, when somebody's walking through heartache in that, I think it's so important that we're there to be compassionate, to be sober-minded in those things, to be aware, to learn, to grow beyond it, yes. But we've got to make sure that in our heart we're not gloating and rejoicing at somebody else's failing expense. So let's pursue righteousness more than we're pursuing being right or our own vindication and self-righteousness today. Hey, thanks everybody for watching. Hope this helped you have a little bit of faith just for today. We love you. We'll talk to you soon.